What's cracking, community? Chaotic Comics here with my most recent pickups. First, I have this Spawn clown character, which I wanted for a while. I actually bought this for my younger son, not this one, but one similar to this, and he was only 5 at the time, so I knew he would take it out of the case, which he did, but I'd always wish that he hadn't, because I really like this, so I picked it up for myself. I also picked up, and this is Daredevil figure from 1997 Toy Biz, and it's based on the Daredevil 7 comic cover, and it is box Daredevil. And then I also picked up famous cover Spider-Man Amazing Fantasy, and it's the original Spider-Man from Amazing Fantasy 15. These were going for 20 each. The guy gave me a little bit of a deal, 2 for 35. The Spider-Man actually holds the real value. It's going for like $50-$55. The Daredevil is going for 15 to 20. But you know, real value Spider-Man, and they're really cool, so I don't think I'll be getting rid of them. Alright, so these are the comics I picked up recently. I have Batman 700, and then we have Batman 701, just continue the storyline, 702, 703, Popeye. This features the first edition of Hardtack. Picked this up for a couple dollars. I was at a thrift shop, and the seller had some dollar comics, and then he had a friend who was ill and who was selling some comics, or he was selling comics for that individual. There's a few spine ticks there, and this was going for a couple dollars, but I picked it up. It's a pretty cool cover. Early Popeye. Firestorm, the first appearance of Blue Devil, which when Blue Devil first came out I really liked. Enjoyed the storyline. Once I got out of comics, I kind of lost track of what was going on in Blue Devil, but I intend on going back and reading the whole storyline because it's one of the few superhero comics at the time that I really enjoyed. I think I may have mentioned before that initially I collected, when I was a teenager and younger, I always collected Sergeant Rock. And then the Fighting Navy, Fighting Army, Fighting Marine comics. Really had no interest in superheroes. It's not until about a year and a half ago that I got back into comic collecting that I'm now going after the superheroes. And I think back to think at the time what comics came out around the time that I was initially collecting Sergeant Rocks, and if I would have picked up those superhero comics, they would have been worth quite a bit. So, oh well. And this is a Firestorm, the first Slipknot. Picked this up recently for a couple dollars. Supposed to be, I think, in the new DC movie coming out, Suicide Squad. Plastique. This actually was original. It's one of the first or few superhero comics I did pick up. Number 3, Firestorm. First Killer Frost. Number 2, and I have number 4 somewhere, but it's in one of my boxes. It wasn't in this box that I dug these comics out of. And then number 1, and I think I probably only paid about 50 cents for this back in the 80s. I didn't get it on the newsstand, but I picked it up at a thrift shop, I believe. I think I may have paid 50 cents for this. It was actually my 8th grade graduation. I remember my mother came into town, and we had gone to a thrift shop, and I picked up quite a few comics, and for whatever reason I picked up the Firestorm 1 through 4. These are just the Power Ranger number 0, and this is the Yellow or Green Ranger. Not really into the Rangers, but I like these covers, so I picked them up. Pink Ranger. And this is Black. I have a couple sets of these, and I have the Blue Ranger too, but I think that's in another box. This is Batman, the Bronze Age appearance of Mr. Freeze, and it is a Whitman variant. I think this was like $6. Not very much. I have the DC version as well, which is in a little better condition. Batman Beyond, #1, Batman versus Batman. Thought this is a cool cover. Terry McGinnis, Batman against Bruce Wayne, Batman. And Iron Maiden. Can't go wrong with an Iron Maiden comic book. They also, in the same series, they did Slayer, which I picked up. Exodus, and I think they have Faith No More, and there are a few other bands, but I just picked up the Iron Maiden, Exodus, and the Slayer. That's really all I had any interest in. Swamp Thing 49 and 50, and the first appearance of the Justice League Dark, I believe. I think that's correct. Dark Horse presents the first Aliens in comics. First appearance. This is one of the comics I picked up in the 80s, and I may have got this at a comic store, at a store, and it may have been. It's probably Circle K is a shop where I would go pick up my comic books. So probably Circle K, but it's first print Transformers. Picked this up recently for cover price, Hinch Girl, and now this thing is blown up. I guess there was a limited print run by Scout Comics. And this is going for $80, $90, $100 and paid cover for it, so I can't complain about that. Batman Annual 25, the origin of Jason Todd as the Red Hood. Or Jason Todd, I'm not sure which. Detective Comics, Hugo Strange. I think the first Hugo Strange. Infinite Crisis 1. I think I have most of these. But the box that like I said, I dug these out of, this is the only one I had in there. I may be missing a few, but I have the Death of Supergirl, Death of Barry Allen. I think I have 1 of 12. I may be missing a few of the lower issues, but once again, I'm really not sure. Adventure into Fear. It's cool. Blade and Mobius. And I think this may be the first time that Blade and Mobius are together. I think that's why I may have picked this up. Invincible Iron Man 150. I just really like this cover. I picked up a couple of these. I think the other one I picked up may have had a better cover, or this one may have been the one with the better cover. But one of them, the black, was a true black. It was nice and dark as opposed to being faded. I just love that cover. Dr. Doom and Iron Man. And this cover as well I picked up just because I really liked it. Hulk versus the Thor. It's a nice clean cover. Walking Dead 100. I just like this because of Michonne. It was a variant cover. Thor 146. The Inhumans. A crease there, but I think I may have only paid like $5 or $6 for this, so I'm happy with that. This actually is a low-grade copy of Batman 184. I believe it's 184. Yeah, 184. But the significance with it for me is that my father died recently, and he wasn't a comic collector, but I guess he'd gone to a thrift store. He lived in Reading and picked up a few comics. And this is one of the ones he picked up just to read, and when he died I found it and bagged it, but I still like the cover, and once again it has significance. He also had, and it's somewhere in my collection, I need to find it, I think it's Batman, it's the one with the mansion on it and the hounds. It's a classic Neil Adams cover, and the condition is better than this. But it's probably a 4.0, 5.0, but I intend on getting it graded and slabbed. Once again, it was my dad's, but I really like the cover as well. I picked this up off eBay a while ago, $189. It has a subscription crease down the center, but it's pretty clean for the age. And I think I picked it up for maybe $50, which I'm happy with. I intend on getting that slabbed as well. Strange Tales 138, And the significance of this is eluding me. And I think this has a subscription increase as well. Probably a VG Plus. I just picked this up because I wanted to collect all the monster variants for Monster Month. And I think I only wound up actually getting this Batman and the one Batman Beyond, where Terry McGinnis is surrounded by villagers, like a traditional vampire movie, like Dracula. Booster Gold 1, I picked this up. I know this is heating up. I don't think I paid a whole lot for it. Flash 7, this is a 1 in 10 variant cover. And Reverse Flash. Spider-Man Marvel Team Up 3, I really like this just because it has Mobius and Spider-Man and the Human Torch. Nice clean copy. And Batman 359, the first Killer Croc on the cover. Not the first Killer Croc, but on the cover. And that's why I picked that up. Alright, thanks so much for joining me. Have a nice evening, and please join me for my next video. Thank you so much.